why read hinged smut when I could just read another unhinged smut that is also door smut? Yes, this is the next in the list. Hello, hi, if you don't know, if you're new, this is a video series I do, where at least once a month I read unhinged smut, which is perfect because this one is literally called Unhinged. It's door smut. Yeah. That is essentially the series. Many more planned. I know what the next one's gonna be already. All this stuff. And good news is people keep on sending more to me. If you want to be one of those people, you could put in the comments, or my Twitch community is mainly the people who give me recommendations. They pop up on their Instagram reels or TikToks and they send them to me, and then I go, oh, don't worry, that was planned. That was planned 3 weeks from now. This one's planned for Pride Month, all this stuff. So it's a wild time. Also, in the timeline of real life, I am doing this the day after my birthday, which I find hilarious. I almost did it yesterday, but I just watched TV all day instead. I'm allowed to do that. It was my birthday. So this means that the first full book I read, because actually I did finish a book this morning. The first full book I read as a 27-year-old is Door Smut. Thank you. This is going to be a great time. I should mention the author of this one wrote Squeak, which I have read before. It's not on my Goodreads. I don't know why, but I did read it many moons ago, right after it came out. So that's funny. I think that was actually one of the first unhinged smuts I read a long time ago. But yeah, that's essentially what this is going to be, me reading unhinged door smut. I don't know, normally I do it where about every 25% I update you, but this one is 70 pages, 70 to 80 pages, which I love for me because I have the urge to watch Star Trek right now. We don't need to talk about it. And so if I do, I could read that all in an hour. It's smut. I could read it in an hour and then watch Star Trek for the rest of the day. So that's the plan. I don't know how much I'll update you. Maybe 50 and then 100%. But also depends on what happens in the book. Because if it gets too chaotic, I will have to update you because there's no way I can remember everything if it gets too crazy. But from my basic understanding, it's just a girl living on her own and her door's been watching her. And it knows exactly what she wants. Okay, fine. Get a girl, I guess. And that's that. That's what's happening. I'm gonna go pick that book up. Goodbye. I'll talk to you in probably like half an hour to an hour when I'm halfway through. Until then. Hello, are you here to talk about the book? Oh, thank you. You're so helpful. Bella and I are here to talk about Unhinged update, which I am like 56, I think, technically % of the way through because of finishing chapter, which is 36 pages. Wild time. Anyways, I have actual things and thoughts before we get into the wild and shit. Which is that so far this book is only from the door's point of view, which is interesting because of all these that I've read so far, the straight performing ones have been usually from, at least for the most part, sometimes there's like a chapter or two, or it's every other chapters, from the male's perspective, who is usually the object. But for the most part, the book is from the woman's point of view. So you get her mindset as, you know, she's dealing with a fork turning into a man and also vibrating. That's a whole video. Right? But this one is his point of view, which is interesting. And I don't know what to say about it. It's just a thing that I noted, and is interesting in comparison to the norm for these types of books, right? So, like, even, because I've read gay ones. We all remember the Mpreg potato smut, right? Right? And that one was dual POV, but also, um, is very much usually the one who is dealing with the wildness. Like, the other one in that one was a wolf shifter, so the fact that he was a potato shifter, right? And so it made sense because, like, the wolf had never seen a potato shifter before. That was like a whole aspect, right? So it's like, I don't know what to say about it. It's just the thing that I noticed. Bella, you're very cute laying there. Anyways, wild and stuff. I wish sometimes I do set up to film as I'm reading, and then if I have an interesting reaction, I can put it in, right? With music in the background. This time I didn't do that because I was reading either outside with a dog or on this couch with a dog. Um, but I really wish I was recording my reaction when I read this specific section. And then also my sister's reaction when she was like, "What the hell are you freaking out about?" And then I had to go, "Well, see, I'm reading a door smut," and then her face went. That was funny. That was funny. Anyways, so the plot is essentially, I can't believe the words I'm about to say. Yeah, her door is sentient. It's front door to her apartment is sentient. Has been watching her for a while, for like the 6 months that she's been living there, and is really interested in her. You know who's also really interested in her? The apartment building super. To the point where he has now stolen her underwear twice. He uses the master key to break into her apartment when she's gone. Also, the door did see shortly before Tana? That's her name. Shortly before she moved in, he did see the super Randall, that's his name, take a girl who looked very similar to our main girl into the woods, and now the police are looking for her. And then I'm just gonna say it. Zeus confirms that she's dead because Hades has seen her. She is in the underworld, and he's a serial killer. Yeah, I just mentioned Zeus and Hades. Anyways, the part that made me freak because so I did. There's an author's note about that whole aspect in the beginning, so I was like, okay, okay. So I was like, this is a little weird, but I was going into it, and then, and then, imagine my surprise. She's sleeping one night. Zeus shows up. I wish I was so joking. I'm not. Essentially, Hera is pissed because Zeus sleeps around a lot, and also, needs to learn what consent is. It's very much Zeus being pissed off that his wife is mad at him for sleeping with people, and like, he even brings up the fact that he, it's played off as jokes, and it's in a way that like makes me laugh as like somebody like if you are specifically a woman probably who has been into Greek mythology in the past, you clock some icky things that happen, and it's like he plays it as a joke, and then the door's like, that's not funny, that's not okay, right? And so that's like the whole dynamic happening here. It brings up the fact that like, oh my god, so he does some stuff while he's a bird, or a storm, or a woman's husband, and then they have kids. Oh my god, my wife's so annoying, and she keeps on telling me I need to understand what consent is, whatever that is. And the door's like, yeah, you really do. Anyways, apparently our door was once a tree, as doors tend to be, at least wooden ones. Okay. Though this specific tree was grown from an acorn of a specific Zeus tree, and then the winds blew it into the forest, and then it was cut down and turned into a door, which is our main character, the door. And yeah, this is where I have to tell you, the door is actually the child of Zeus, the god, and a dryad, and that's why it's sentient. And Hera is trying to make Zeus understand consequences to his actions. So because of this, Zeus shows up and is like, hey, because of this, Hera has made it so you can talk to your girl in her dreams tonight. And if you get her to you as a door, then you can become a human man. And so that happens. He goes into her dreams, warns her about Randall, and Amelia is like, really big. Well, first, she's having, like, that typical horror dream where you're naked in your classroom type situation, and he's immediately, like, putting clothing on her and comforting her and giving her support, even though he is into her. He's very clearly into her. Um, and then, he is, like, trying to explain to her that Randall's not a good guy, and, she needs to, like, she's gotten a weird vibe from Randall already, but, like, she needs to be on the lookout, because Randall's really not good. He has broken into your place before, like, girl, I'm worried for you type situations, right? And then he brings up the fact that, yes, she does need to, as a door, specifically the doorknob, by the way, because that's the next part. Uh, and then, because that, he will be able to turn into a man, and when that happens, he will protect her. Because while, like, he clearly can get through him as a door, he will throw him down and harm him when he comes after her if she just does this so they can become a man. It's very much not him, like, yeah, he's into her and he wants to be with her, but it's very much giving, like, he's making it clear that, like, yeah, I am into you and wouldn't mind, but also I'm mostly doing this so that I can protect you because I care more about your safety than I do about getting with you, right? So that's a fun time. Anyways, Randall shows up when she's grocery shopping, steals more underwear, or attempts to. And also drugs her orange juice. And he assumes it's poisoned. I assumed it's one of those spike your drinks type of drugs, right? Like, that's the vibes I'm getting, and I'm getting that is not blatantly saying that because of the type of book this is. So they're just saying that he just murders the girls. But we know what's really happening here, right? Like, that's obviously. Anyways, so she comes home, gets wine drunk, does it with a doorknob. This is like the 50% mark, by the way. And then he's all like, oh, didn't work. She goes to take a shower. She comes out of the shower. He's a man, naked, standing in the doorway. There's no door anymore. Her neighbor sees that, is freaked the fuck out, right? She is freaking out because she's like, oh my god, is he actually my door, right? Knowing some stuff. He goes to drink some orange juice. He freaks out, throws out all the orange juice, and points out to her, like, it's drugged. Like, you can see the sediment at the bottom, right? And she's like, oh my god, and then she feels like she's in danger, and he comforts her, and, you know, that's it. That's all I've read so far. You know, when Zeus showed up, I was like, this is a weird, like, it went in depth about what he was wearing. I was like, this is weird. And then he goes, my wife Hera, and I went, wait, and then he starts talking more and more, and I was freaking the F out. So that was fun time. I'm gonna go eat something salty because all I've had today is coffee, Dr. Pepper, and a lot of Swedish fish. Blame my sister. So I need something that isn't pure sugar. So I'm gonna go do that and drink some water. Did I leave my water in here? I thought I did. I don't know where it is. And I'll update you when I finish the book. Good times. It's definitely keeping me entertained, mostly because it's from the door's POV. She does talk to herself a lot, so we do know what she's generally thinking or feeling. But yeah, the fact that it's from the door's POV is very interesting. I wonder what her thought process there was for that one. But anyways, goodbye. I'm gonna go read more from a door's POV, I guess. I really wish the last, like, 4 pages I was recording my reaction, because, oh my god. First of all, he's a were-door. He is a were-door. A bunch of stuff happens. But, Hera contacts Tana through dreams, and explains a bunch of stuff, including how to regularly turn him back into human, which is the same way she did the first time. Very much like the fork smut and the spoon smut, the next one that I read, right? Very similar as in those ways, because he does get turned back into her. I will explain it. But also, according to Hera, he turns into a door every full moon. And so they'll have to do this every full moon. Anyways, before that, they get on a little bit, and then Randall shows up, and apparently the police are catching up to him, right? And so he shows up with a gun. Driss, that's the door's name, by the way. Driss, that's the name he chooses. Which, oh my god, wait, the reason why is because he remembers that she has a thing for one particular actor, and they're watching a superhero action movie with him in it. And then it says his name is Idris. And he calls himself, the door decides to go by Driss, so it's not fully Idris, but Driss. Which means they're watching one of the Thor movies. Better be Ragnarok. It better be, listen, I do really like the other two, but Ragnarok is top tier. Thank you very much. Anyway, so that made me laugh. Then we go to I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Idris Elba is in that one. He definitely is. I 100% remember he is. Every single time there's that dumb flashback back to, or flash sideways, I guess, to Asgard. A lot of the times it's him, keeping everybody safe. Thank you, Idris. Anyways, so that's why his name is Driss. Anyways, Randall comes in with a gun and is threatening her, so Driss tackles him and gets shot. And so he, in being injured, immediately turns into a door and then falls on him. And it's a solid oak door. He's fucking heavy. Yeah, no, Randall almost dies from blood force trauma from being, well, before, like, in the tussle beforehand, Tana did hit him over the head with a vase. Right? So that combined with having a solid oak door just whoosh, on you, I imagine would cause some internal bleeding, and he almost died. But don't worry, he didn't, and was able to go to trial and found guilty for the other girl, Sarah's death. The neighbor was the one who called the police because she found it suspicious, a bunch of him just showing up at the apartment, especially when Sarah lived there, blah, 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 blah. And so I just noticed a plot hole. We're not gonna talk about it. And so, yeah, no, he's, the door is taken into evidence. She gets the door back, fills the bullet hole with wood putty. Okay, has a dream where Harry tells her all this stuff we already brought up. And then bangs him again. Thankfully she has another front door. There was this whole aspect where they had to buy another front door, and he put it up for her while she was sleeping, and cleans her apartment for her in case, like, Randall touched, like, anything in her bedroom, because he kept on going to her bedroom and closing the door afterwards. So, like, he doesn't know what Randall did in there every time. Does know, like, he stole her underwear more than once, and so he's like, I'll make sure to clean everything, so, like, right, you feel safe in your own bedroom and not creeped out, right? And that's when they do it for someone he's human form. Anyways, they continue to do it after he turns back from a door again into human form. They continue to do it a little bit, and then she explains all this stuff, and then she says, hey, some weird guy showed up. It's Zeus showed up with this for you, and it's a wallet with a fake ID and birth certificate and a bunch of cash. His last name for his fake identity is Locke. And his fake birth certificate is from Greece. He even has immigration papers from Greece. They made him Greek. That's so funny. That's so funny. I was laughing so hard. Oh my god. A bunch of money. Right. Oh, and also a business card for an antique place nearby saying, let them know Dad told you to come in, insinuating that he's gonna get a job at an antique place. He's a door. That was funny. And then they go out for dinner and they're happy together at the end. Most of the time, listen, I do want to clock another thing on top of the fact that it's all from his point of view, which is the fact that she is definitely the top in their relationship. Also, she's the one more educated in just life stuff because he's been a door his whole life, right? So he doesn't know how to be human. That's like a whole, it could have gone very body horror with it. It was like this whole thing where the idea of like walking around doing anything, like he could notice his own spine and how it's like not as straight as a door's spine, right? And how difficult it made like walking and existing, and how learning how to smile was a thing for him, like all this stuff. And so that's it could have gone body horror with that if it really wanted. Anyways, you know, I clocked the fact that it's very much he's the fish out of water. He's the one without a lot of knowledge. I say that, but he does have some knowledge. Like, he knows when and how she gets herself off. I don't know what the hand movement was. Don't notice that. He knows, he calls it her dark moods, her period, her dark moods, and knows that she likes ice cream. So he's like, okay, let's go get you ice cream. And they go out shopping. So he's like, it's gonna be in a few days. Let's get you ice cream. It makes you happier. The dream man, honestly. And he's very supportive and protective. He knows all the stuff about Randall and what Randall plans. And like watches a lot of, like, she watches a lot of action slash superhero slash crime stuff, and so he watches as well. And so he knows like stuff from that, but he's not very knowledgeable when it comes to sex in general. And so it's a lot of her parenting him. I don't want to, it sounds weird when I say it like that, but kind of instructing him through everything, teaching him everything, but also they're both very into that dynamic, let me tell you. So that whole ordeal is interesting. Listen, I think my favorite part about all these types of books is trying to figure out, like, if you gave me an option to guess how the door would be sentient, I would never be able to guess this. Like, I love trying to figure out, before I read the book, how I think the object is going to be sentient. And then I learn, and I'm just gobsmacked because every time it's fucking wild. What do you mean there's a land of sentient vegetables and one of them came out of a cornucopia? That's another video. Don't worry. What do you mean super soldiers from World War II turned into silverware? Multiple videos. Anyways, speaking of multiple videos, there's a whole playlist of these. Did I mention when I'm rating this? I think I'm gonna give it a 3. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Maybe a 3.5. I think I'm gonna go with 3 though. Can you see the wind now? Oh my god. Yes, you can actually. I think I'm gonna go with 3. Let's go with that. That's my first reaction, because most of it, listen, here's the thing, after reading so many of these, the sex scenes are not that interesting. It's just me being like, get over with. I'm more here for like the world building. I read weird object smut for the world building. Hear me out. That's very funny. Anyways, yeah, no, so I think I'm gonna go with 3. There's a whole playlist of these up above in the cards. It's like a whole thing. There's Minotaur, there's Object. I mentioned the silverware. There's multiple silverware ones. There's a squash one. Next month is another vegetable one that isn't the sequel to the squash one, because that one's in August. But don't worry, there's purposes, there's reasons why. It's gay. Oh, there's also an emperor potato one. I think I brought that up in this one already. It's a wild time. I'm trying to make them monthly, sometimes more, depending, because like these are quick, easy videos to film, edit, read for, everything like that. So if something happens and I need something to come out fast, this is a great option. So, you know, great times. That's all that. Links below for all this stuff. I post on Instagram sometimes. I stream on Twitch a lot of times, except for recently. Wednesdays are gaming videos, which are slightly edited down gaming streams from Twitch. Sometimes the game, sometimes I read / co-work, so sometimes both in the same day. Fun times. And then Saturdays are BookTube videos like this one. I have a plan for next week's. I think it's the one where it's another me continuing series, but that one's translated books, because I thought that was a fun theme. Who knows if it'll actually be that one, because I am behind for every video. Very behind. But that's it. That's everything. Goodbye. Into the next video.